Hi, this is Adekyn with another Grand Ages Rome campaign mission video. This one is Divide and Conquer. We're going to start this one a little differently and start talking about the Julii family, then play the mission. So I'm showing here the developed character and all the family traits that I've chosen along the way. Those first couple were good for some early money. I think the real heart of the Julii are these latter ones. These two right here, wheat and pig farm, actually provide you with food, and we're going to actually use that in the mission, and I'll show you how to do that. And all these last ones here are basically around being popular, and they help you with your military. So the Julia is all about popularity. You want to be popular, and that's where you get your bonuses. Then on the city bonuses, always go for Tribune of the Plebes. That's the five goods instead of three for well-fed plebes. And then that one I circled there, which is the forum is instant and costs no denarii, is a really good one. I actually hit that free platforms by mistake. I hate platforms. You guys probably have figured that out by now. I don't like using them because they just irritate me. Those two right there in combo can give you a nice bonus for entertainment because they double the amount of entertainment you get from plazas and promenades, and then they stack with other things as the other bonus. So I did take 3 military with this character, the 2 where you get faster recruiting, and 1 where they level up. So let's take a look and let's play this divide and conquer mission. It's really this one is about being able to again build pretty quickly. This is kind of the theme for all military missions is learn how to build quickly, get your military out there quickly, and everything will be fine. And of course, to do that, you got to have goods, you got to have some money, you got to have happy people. So basically, let's look at the map here. You got a nice little plateau here that's got farming, it's got stone and marble, it's got iron, which by the way I forgot for a while. You'll see I made a goof, but it doesn't matter. You've got all these good materials there, so it's a great place to have a little plebe neighborhood to do your production. Your enemy's going to march down that valley as I just showed there. So we're going to build up there a plebe area, and then the main key I think is to quickly expand out and get into this flat area where we've got some room and build a nice middle class area there where we can get some equites houses and some recruits and improve our economy. Another key is this barbarian village, and you'll see later on why it's so important by that little line I just drew of that pass coming through there. But this barbarian village has 3 level 3 defenders and 3 level 3 attackers, which tells me that we're going to get attacked by them, number 1, and number 2, those defenders can actually become an asset to us. And I'll show you how to do that later on. So this build is going to take advantage of the Julii talent, where the wheat and pig farms each give you 30% food satisfaction. So what we're going to do is just build a nice little plebe community up here, and we're going to center it around, actually, instead of a butcher, baker, and tavern as I usually do, we're going to center it around the wheat farm and the pig farm. So I'm just kind of getting an idea because I don't play the Julii much at all, and so I'm just kind of getting an idea what the radius looks like for the wheat and pig farm, because I want to kind of center my build around that. But no matter what you do, you've got to get your production going first. So we're going to do the usual 2 logs, 2 bricks, and a stone, kind of a start to get us going on production. We'll actually need a little more than that later on, but that's a great way to start, is get those 2 logs going, and then get your 2 bricks, and then pick up some stone, and then you get your food in place and you're ready to rock and roll. So again, up here, rather than a butcher and baker, we're going to have our wheat farm and our pig farm, and there's several advantages to that. One is, like here where we have a small space, we're not going to have to use up space building those 2 buildings and the 2 houses that would support them. And also the pig and wheat, because people are feeding directly off the farm, it's not actually consuming any of our resources. So we still have all those resources out there for us for additional butcher baker combos and farmers markets and whatever it is you want to build out there. So here we go. Now I'm kind of looking at where do I want to put this farm, and I'm not thinking so much about getting it next to the farmland as getting it in the center of my community. In fact, if I were going to do this again, I'd actually move it further out if it'll go. But you can see the other thing I wanted to do is get that water so I can get the bonus for the placing the wheat, and then of course put the pig next to the wheat, so it gets a bonus. Get these popularity bonuses with all my insulae, which are double for a Julii if you got the right family trait. Because again, the big strategy with Julii is get popular as fast as you can, and you can use that popularity either to hit the forum tax and get you some early money if that's what you need, or in a military mission, what you really want to do is get that popularity up so that you're drafting all your squads while you're popular, so they level up. So that way you automatically have a stronger army because you've leveled up, because you've drafted your squads while you're popular. So so we're going to just fast forward a bit. Here you can see the community developing. I'm putting in an arena. I'm going to get a gladiator, and I just wanted to get some entertainment for those guys. But I'm going to use a leapfrog technique to build that trade post down there, and then use that to enable me to build out in the valley. So you don't need to run down in the valley and build an outpost, because that takes up recruits and takes up resources and money. You don't need to do that. Just use your leapfrog, which means take that, build a house, and then build that trade post out as far away from it as you can, and then that way that enables you to build down here in the valley. And it's very important, I think, in this mission and most military missions, don't turtle yourself up into too small a ball where you've got just that little. Don't try to build a whole community up on that plateau. Go on down into the valley, get yourself some space, and build a nice equites, middle class community down here, and that way your economy grows as you grow, your number of recruits grows. You just that for a military mission you got to have some building. So we're going to place our forum, so now we can go into the equites phase and start building, and we'll be building down this valley. We'll build a nice little community down here. And again, I don't do the pretty buildings. I put stuff where I need it to make it function and to get my ratings. So now I'm going to do the more traditional butcher baker, and then we'll expand, since we want to get out and get that port as well to get our trade improved, because that first trade route to Parma is pretty weak. And by the way, one bad mistake I made here, I should have sent my drafted squad straight down to get that trade route down on the lower right to get the better trade possibilities, because that first one isn't doesn't do much for you. But anyway, what we're doing now is just setting up a basic. I'm not going into plebes, because I'm not ready to go there yet. I don't have the olive oil, I don't have the clothing, and I want to move faster. I want to get ready. I want to get an army up quickly, so I don't want to expend time and resources and money doing patricians right now. Now, if I were a Flavius, I would, because there you get bonuses. You actually get recruits from the patricians and all that. It's just a great example of how one thing I like about this game. Depending upon the family, you really do play it differently. So now we're fast forwarding a little bit. I finally sent those gladiators down to take that trade post, but while they're walking down there, very slowly I might add, we're actually going to be attacked. There's 3 Nubian warrior squads coming from that village that I pointed out, and you can see there I've got a African auxilia up. Decided to go with war elephants because we've got some goods, and I like war elephants. That's the main reason. Triarian war elephants are my favorites. So we've got that drafted squad. I knew I wasn't in any trouble with those 3 because I had elephants coming. Since they're Nubian warriors, the Triari turtle will work just fine. It'll keep them occupied. The elephants go kill them off. It's not much of a battle. So in fact, we're even going to fast forward over here in just a second. But I did want to point out there's a lot of things you could do. Let's say that you didn't quite get to this point, you were building a little slower and you had a couple problems, which happened to all of us. You could always build a fort here. When you see that attack coming, you could build a fort and use that along with what squads you have to defeat the enemy. The other thing you could do, it's kind of a sneaky little trick, but you could actually build an aqueduct and just kind of run an aqueduct out in front of the enemy. They'll typically stop and attack it, and while they're attacking it, that buys you time to do whatever you need to do, get a fort going, or recruit some more troops or whatever. So there's a lot of little tricks you could use to delay the enemy. The best situation, of course, of all is just build fast, recruit fast and get your stuff ready. So we're just opening up a port, using the trade with the ports. You see a lighthouse there, so we can get a good trade route going. I actually made a mistake there. I tried to click the mouse and it didn't work, and I ended up trading stone instead of marble. And I really would rather trade marble, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter. At this point, you can see we've already got a strong army, and we haven't even really gone into battle. We've just got the one little attack. But the other thing you notice is we're going straight back after that barbarian village now, because he has now attacked us with his 3 attackers. We defeated him, so it's going to take that village time to recruit more attackers. So while they're weak, I want to go after them with my troops. Now at the same time, you see there's a couple of squads coming down through the pass. Those are actually Pompey's troops. Those are the ones we're supposed to be stopping. And they'll notice they came right through the village, because the village is basically not our enemy, so they're kind of allied with them. So I'm just going to go take care of these 2 Hastati, which will be no problem for these 5 squads. In fact, it was so much not a problem. I barely paid any attention to what I did. I just kind of moved up there and did a couple of special abilities with the archer and the elephant to knock them off quickly. Then we're just going to go right ahead. No, we're not going to wait. We're not going to heal or rest or anything. We're going to go right ahead and take out these 3 defenders from this village, so that we can subjugate the village. And again, we're just going to kind of march them all up. I think some people have a little trouble with controlling the armies in this game. One thing you can do, if you pick them all and just move them in mass, they will come into a fairly logical formation, where you get kind of melee up front, and you'll get your archers and Hastati, any whatever Nubian warriors, whatever you have as ranged units in the back. So that works okay. The other thing, what I usually do is I group my guys up, and see, I haven't even done it on this one because these battles are so easy, but I group them up so that I have like number 1 for me, if you can see it there, is always that one Triari who's going to be the guy who goes ahead of everybody else and takes all the enemy ranged attack. But then I usually put melee in 2, and archers and Hastati and Nubians in 3 or whatever. But I basically just move them up like that, so that it allows you to actually, by doing that, you can actually change the formations by changing how you do it. So now we're fast forwarding a little bit more, kind of showing you a battle where the enemy has come down, and I've got, you can see I've built up another war elephant, another Nubian warrior, far superior troops now. They've been drafted while they're popular, so they all start out pretty strong. Basically, the game's over at this point, because we've got that barbarian village we subjugated it instead of destroying it, and that way it has 3 defenders, so it's actually guarding that pass for us now. It's become our ally. That's why I was saying there's a great trick about that. And then we use our troops to take out the rest. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped you.